Oh, no, no, no. We're going to start right now.
No. I just feel like it's comfortable, so I'm just, you know.
Not at all. Okay.
Don't start it.
Don't start it?
No, I need just a minute here.
Okay. Well, we're live on Geek Week. On Geek Week. Okay.
That's fun.
Yeah, this will be good.
Good. I like your glasses.
Thank you. Wait, if you're gonna say nice things about me, you have to wait until I'm recording.
Okay. All right. Fine.
You can start recording. I mean.
Oh, okay.
If you really want.
All right, now we're recording.
All right, so, all right.
All right.
Just one more thing. Just make sure my Geek Week is silenced. So, watching on the.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's good. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And we're off.
All right. Welcome to Decently Funny with Nuzzy and Guy here on decentlyfunny.com and hottalkla.com and all of other things. What do we got? Geek Week and Justin.tv and.
Did you say iTunes?
We're on iTunes.
Yeah. Say Hot Talk LA.
I did say that one. And you know what? And we're now on this new thing called Stitcher, which is kind of this new mobile app that people could download. Apps are like the new thing, right?
Yes, I actually know about apps.
Apps are the new thing, Guy.
Yeah.
Also.
Yeah.
And so you download this app called Stitcher, and you go to stitcher.com/decentlyfunny, and then you could win some kind of prize or something.
Yeah, I think you can win some money.
You can win some money, but you can also listen to the podcast from your car, from your iPad 2.
Right.
And you can also right from your mobile device. So it's totally cool if you have a smartphone.
Yeah. iPhone, BlackBerry.
So, decentlyfunny.com. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We're very excited. This is a podcast about pop culture.
Yes.
And we do a lot of interviews with celebrities from all walks of life. Some walks of life are actors and pop culture icons,
mm-hmm.
and some are even wrestlers. And I think we've got Randy Macho Man Savage coming up on an upcoming.
No, he passed.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
That's terrible.
Well, I guess we're not going to have Randy Macho Man Savage on the show anytime soon.
Possibly too soon.
Anyway, I'm really excited, especially excited about this episode because as a child, as a young man, as a teenager,
yes.
Okay, all of those three things.
Mm-hmm.
I dreamt of a woman. This is weird. This is surreal for me. I have a young lady in the Nuz. What's the name of my?
Wow,
I'm sorry, I can't.
Flustered.
I am now. This is what happens.
Okay.
All right. Your name is Diane Franklin,
It is.
and you were in Better Off Dead.
Yes.
And you're the French. Oh, okay. You're the French girl in Better Off Dead.
Hey, wait. Oh, thank you.
You're applauding for her. Give her her due. No.
Diane Franklin.
Merci beaucoup. Merci.
Oh. But you were in my favorite movie of the 80s and one of my favorite movies of all time, The Last American Virgin. That's incredible that you're sitting here on the couch.
I know. Did you ever think that Karen would be sitting on your couch?
No. No. I love Karen and I hated Karen at the same time.
Yep. I would assume that you probably hate me. A lot of people, loved me and hated me, and I can't blame them. After seeing the film over and over again, I have to say that it's hard to not hate me.
I wanted to love you so much.
Well,
in that movie.
That's what made the movie, I think, really, awesome, because the way it was shot and the way it was directed, it gets you to fall in love with my character, and then, you know what, I'm not going to blow it for all of you who haven't seen it, but it is definitely, you've got to see this movie. It is a classic.
I'm glad you said that, because that's one movie. I remember being 12 years old. I met Nuz when we were 12 years old. I remember him telling me at 12 certain things, and one of the things was that The Last American Virgin was his favorite movie. I've never sat down and watched.
I still hear that from today.
You're kidding?
No.
You still haven't seen it?
No.
What?
No. So I feel guilty about that. I mean, since the interview started, I just got this pang of guilt coming over me.
Oh my
Maybe
God.
it's, you know, my Jewish mother.
Guy, come on.
Yeah. I know. I'm gonna have to sit down and I'm sure it's on Netflix, right?
We should, the three of us, let's
Yeah.
just watch it right now. Let's stop what we're doing.
And then we'll come back. Okay.
You know,
So I'm sorry.
it is so amazing because it is such a classic movie, and it played, I guess, on VH1 or something. And my son came down and said, "Mom, there's this girl on TV, and she looks just like you." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, Nick, let's run up!" And I ran up to the room, and my daughter was there. I'm like, "Don't look at Mom, don't look at her in the scene. She's naked." I'm like, Nick's like, "Oh, I don't want to see this. No." And so, but luckily it was on VH1.
And which scene is this again? Because I.
Oh, you forgot. Yeah, you're gonna have to.
No, I've. Yeah, the VH1. They cut all the naked stuff out.
Yeah, they do. Luckily for me at that moment, I
Yeah.
just was kind of happy they did. But yeah, no, it's that gritty reality mixed with that, you know, kind of fun 80s fantasy thing that's just so unique, I think, to the time period. And I personally, that movie just has not. It has affected people so much that no matter where I go, you know, I mean, I get recognized probably the most from Better Off Dead and Last American Virgin. But Virgin is such a huge, it just changes people's lives. It's almost like their sex education as they grow up, I think. You know?
Wow.
I mean, it really, people, even younger people today who've seen it, they come to me and go, "Wow, that was just unbelievable." So.
Well, it's like three movies in one, really. I mean, it's the coming of age story, probably for what's his name?
Okay, for what's his name? Yeah. Go ahead.
Not the guy
Lawrence
that.
Monson, or
Yeah. I mean, his character.
Right.
Not Rick.
Rick. No, Rick is the boyfriend.
Yeah.
Who,
Rick, by the way, he's homosexual in real life, right?
Yeah, I was knew that you were going to ask me that, and I'm going to have to say no comment, only because.
Well, I think he's out.
Is he?
Yeah,
Okay,
he's
well,
totally out.
My feeling is it's always people, you know, if they want to share that with the world, that's fine.
Yeah.
But, you know.
Right.
But let's just say, regardless of whether he was, you know, homosexual or not, he's still hot.
Yes.
So
very
I have
hot
to say,
guy.
Yeah.
He
is. I mean, you have to see this movie.
He's a hunk.
He's a hunk. Have you seen The Goonies?
Of course.
He plays Troy.
Yeah, he plays the,
yeah.
Okay, I know exactly.
Very good looking guy. But
Steve Anton,
but homosexual and totally. But he's also, and look, I'm not saying that there's. I live in West Hollywood.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
But he's obviously homosexual in the movie too. Like you're watching him dance at the '80s party. I'm like, well, I guess when you're in '80s parties, everybody kind of dances
Everybody
like a
yeah.
homosexual.
Same way.
Yeah, they all pretty with the, you know.
He just has sexuality. He's got that little gleam in his eye. You know, that's just who he is. I mean, I think he's just got that kind of spark. You know.
When we first started this radio show, like 10-something years ago, before podcasts and all that stuff, I interviewed Steve Anton over the phone. But I didn't record it. So basically, I talked to Steve Anton over the phone for like 20 minutes.
But you know, I don't know if he does interviews like that anymore. So
I tracked him down somehow. Remember?
I remember that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just called him and talked to him.
Yeah.
I remember that. It's kind of weird.
It was kind of weird.
And he directed Burlesque. Too,
Yeah.
So,
Now, very talented guy. I
Yeah.
mean, and he's in, just like you, he's in some of the greatest films ever. I mean, Better Off Dead, you're in Better Off Dead.
Right.
He's in The Goonies.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Before we
crazy.
even jump to Better Off Dead, because I want to talk to Diane about that.
Yeah.
But Last American Virgin was your first movie, yes?
was my first feature film, yeah.
Feature film. Okay, and before that you were doing commercials from what I understand?
Oh, okay,
or no?
so here's the deal. I actually am writing a book right now. Almost done, and I have a little surprise for you guys too. And I'm editing it right now, but it talks about how I started in the business, how I got into it, how one becomes a babe. How does that happen, you know?
Right.
How does the making of a babe, an 80s babe especially, happen? So this book covers that, but I had been working in the business since I was little, and but Virgin was my first film, and it was my first part, and I was the lead. So to me, that was kind of, I don't know if that usually happens to actresses, but I can say that was just an amazing experience to suddenly go, you know, from a lot of smaller parts, you know, I mean, in different things, to a lead in a film, and that was my first one.
Right. And is the book called The Making of an 80s Babe?
The book is called, okay, watch, I'm going to pull this out now because it's apropos.
What is it? You got an iPad or something in
This
there?
is my, okay, but I have something more to show. Look.
Oh.
This is the...
Oh, good night.
All right. This, you guys get the super preview. No one. It's called The Excellent Adventures of the Last American French Exchange Babe of the 80s.
Gotcha. I love it.
See?
That's awesome.
So there's a lot going on in this book. So we're not going with the silly stuff.
I wanted to make sure every horn in the neighborhood went off.
It's my car that's doing it.
Would you
Maybe
just...
I'll show you my Caesars.
Will you stop that car from... I'm insulted.
It is fun.
Is that pretty wild? You guys...
I love how the font is, you use
Yeah.
the fonts of each one.
Did you need to get permission to use the font?
No,
No, because like if you use like
Yeah.
I remember when I used to work for the Yankees radio,
Mhm.
we couldn't use the Yankees font. It's a
Right.
very specific font to the Yankees, so you couldn't just write New York or anything in
Right.
that font.
Right.
Wow.
It's gonna be cool.
Can you see why I fell in love with her?
Well, you act like you're the only person that ever saw Diane in any movie. Like, let me tell you my experience, first of all. I mean, it is Better Off Dead. But when I walked, I work a regular job, and people always ask me, like, oh, who are you guys doing? What are you doing, obviously? I'm sorry.
Who are you guys
Who
interviewing?
are you guys interviewing this weekend? And I said, Franklin, she was the French girl in Better Off Dead. And universally, if it's a guy, their mouth just goes naturally to this huge smile on their face. And they're like, oh my God, really? I mean, I think every guy fell in love with you in at least one of those two movies in the 80s, right?
Thank you very... I mean, that really means a lot to me. Seriously, it's not a given. I mean, there were a lot of babes during that time.
Listen, jerk off, she's mine. What?
I know,
Trying
it's so
to
funny how
trying
you
to
like-
steal my thunder. But here, let me just kiss your ass a little bit more, and then we can actually talk
Okay.
about some real stuff.
Cool.
But you know what? You're in my apartment, so
Yeah,
it's
this
really
is-
about me right now. I pretty much based my every girlfriend I ever had throughout high school and stuff on the look of Diane Franklin.
I mean, I will say, I don't want to name names,
Right.
but we'll say start with an S, right?
Well,
that,
yeah.
That girlfriend looks
Yeah.
a lot like
Right.
Diane.
Am
yeah.
I? That's right.
Yeah.
She does.
Yeah, the curly hair,
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah. But I mean, there was. Yeah. I mean, I went for the curly hair is really what.
I'm so happy about that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I mean, that's awesome that you guys, like, chose your girlfriends based on my look,
How did this? You guys? No, it's me. I'm saying me, not guys.
Okay, fine. Yeah.
It's
No,
all you.
you specifically. Only
I'm
you.
the only
You're
one.
the man.
So let me just, for people that aren't watching this on Geek Week, let me just describe what you look like right now.
Oh,
Is
good.
that okay?
Okay. as
I'll
long
start
as
from
it's
the.
flattering.
I'll start from the.
Okay.
From the tip of your toes all the way. All
All right.
the way up.
Okay.
Sure.
There's only two pieces of clothing you're wearing right now
Ah, nice. Good.
that I can see.
Mm-hmm.
You've got some pretty hardcore yellow, gold, and black cowboy boots, and you've been wearing those. Those are, you didn't just buy these for the show. These
Old school.
You're old school.
Old school.
And then a hint of skin,
Mm-hmm.
The real knee.
the real knee.
The knees that have been in all my films.
And then describe this top. It's a black.
Little dress.
Is it a dress
It's a little
with lots of
dress.
buttons?
Yeah, it's like a little, kind of,
Mm-hmm.
sort of a, kind of,
Little
what would you
strappy?
say? Strap, yeah.
Little strappy dress.
dress.
I'm sorry.
Yes, there are those two, and there are two of them.
Boy,
But yeah, it's a nice new thing. It's a little, what do you call it? I was trying to describe this dress to somebody actually recently. What is it? It's like a
Sundress?
sundress. Oh, thank you so much.
I was going to let her struggle with that one for a little while.
I should know.
But you know, after the show, we'll take some pictures, and then we'll ask people to go to decentlyfunny.com, and then we'll have some pictures of Diane and the two of us.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, good.
All right, good. So now we got that out of the way. I'm a big fan. You're sitting on my couch, and now we can actually talk about some real stuff. 15 minutes into the show.
You calmed down a little bit?
I've calmed down a little bit.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to make you nervous.
I met you at Wizard World Comic Con,
Yes.
and that was in Anaheim. That was just a few weeks ago.
And you didn't think I was gonna come here for an interview.
I got to tell you, I got to be honest.
You challenged me, actually. You said, no, you're not. I don't want to give this interview unless you promise to come back. And I said, are you kidding me?
Mhm.
Of course. You know, you were so nice and so funny, and I thought, yeah, sure.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I didn't think I was going to ever see you again, but then you called me.
Mm-hmm.
You called me on the phone.
I called you.
Wait, it's becoming about me again.
To be
Guy,
fair,
can you jump in and please ask
No, I
some
mean, I was going to
questions?
say, to be fair, you know, we don't think anybody's ever going to end up coming to your apartment to do an interview. So I think from the very beginning we've been surprised.
We have been,
It
yes,
shows up.
pleasantly
But,
surprised.
Yes.
But thank you very much. And